everybody, welcome back to the Miniac, and today I'm out here again at Baron Mini. Naturally, I come out here quite a bit to show you all a rather simple Mini as far as equipment is concerned. This behind me here is a 2020 Mini Cooper. So yes, you might be asking yourself, why am I showing you a fairly basic car? Well, it's not as basic as you might think. This one's fairly well optioned. It has the signature trim package, which makes it very well optioned actually. So as far as the interior is concerned, you have the standard, well, these are actually the optional sport bucket leatherette seats, which are very comfortable, very supportive, adjustable leg rests, so for long trips you can be more comfortable here. We have the new 7-speed dual clutch transmission, which is new for 2020 in the US market. And that's the shifter right there. That's pretty cool. Center console, center armrest, standard, automatic climate control, all the bells and whistles. On the exterior, we have the Victory spoke wheels, which are part of the signature trim package. This car also has the LED headlights, which most of the Coopers on the lot now have LED headlights. They also now have LED fog lights. Nice black horizontal slatted grille, very nice. The new, very simple Mini emblem, very nice as well. This is in British Racing Green with the white mirror caps and the white roof, so very classic styling here, very classic styling. Also, this car has comfort access, as you can see by the button here, so you can get in and out a lot easier. It's just really well thought out, and for a basic car, this is very good. Now, another neat thing that's new for 2020, you see this little radar sensor here. So you not just have automatic wipers, you also have dynamic cruise control, and the way that works is it measures the distance between you and the car in front of you, so you can adjust the speed. It might even, I think, adjust the speed for you, but don't quote me on that because I'm not exactly sure. But it has some new things for 2020 that are phenomenal, and it now has dynamic traction control along with the dynamic cruise control, so you're getting safety equipment and handling equipment that usually is reserved for higher end models. Now under the bonnet we have the 1.5 liter 3-cylinder turbocharged engine putting out 134 horsepower and 162 foot-pounds of torque. So if we pop the cover off here, because I do that on most of them now, you can see a very, very simple 3-cylinder motor here. Now what's funny is, see how this giant engine mount is? If this were the 4-cylinder, that would be filled up with another cylinder. So kind of cool when you look at it opened up. But that's a pretty compact little engine with a decent amount of horsepower and a decent amount of torque. So pretty nice actually. Now most of you think you need more horsepower in order to have fun with one of these cars. Well, the truth is you can get away with it with 134 horsepower and 162 torque. In fact, the first generation Minis actually had about the same amount of torque as the Cooper has today. So that's saying a lot about how the technology has grown and changed over the years, and that makes this a very good little vehicle. Now, as you'll see in 2 videos coming up, I'm going to do a video where I'm going to drive the car so you get to see the handling and the way the car handles, and then you're also going to see a video where I do a performance thing and go through all those things. But those are going to be coming up, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy them as well. But let's continue with this car, because there's a few other little things here and there that are kind of neat that I noticed on this car that you don't see on other cars, and it addressed some issues that the previous generations had that I didn't really care too much for. For starters, when we get inside the vehicle, most of you notice that you have the multifunction steering wheel, which is standard in most Minis. What you don't notice is that the cruise control is over here on the left side, and the radio controls are over here on the right. Now, in previous generation Minis, this was reversed, and that was really annoying for obvious reasons, in that you want your hand on the wheel if you're going to be shifting, so you can keep one hand over here so you can activate the cruise control. You don't necessarily need it over here. Now, I understand why they left it over here, and that was because UK market, steering wheel moves over, they don't have to flip any of the controls on the steering wheels, but they changed that for 2020, so that's a neat change here. They also changed the fuel gauge, as I shall now show you when I start the car up. So now it has an easier to read gauge. This was new for 2018 actually, and it's very, very easy to read now. You know how much fuel is left in the car versus the little candy corns that used to come off the edges here, or the Tic Tacs or whatever, that weren't very easy to read. Over here you also have your hazard button, and this button here, if I push it, is your intelligent safety feature. So what we have here is we have frontal collision warning and we have pedestrian warning. So if I wanted to activate pedestrian warning, and I'm going to click here, now this car will alert me if there's a pedestrian coming into the view of the car. Now if I click configuration, I can set this as an early warning thing, so it'll alert me if I'm getting too close to a car in front of me. I can also set it for a medium warning, or I can set it for a late warning, but I'm going to leave it at early warning just to make it easier on me. And as usual, all Minis now come with this screen, which includes everything, including Mini Connected, which has your Mini Assist. You can manage your mobile devices, you can personalize your settings. Under My Mini, you can go through driving information, check your systems on that, vehicle status, so you can get your tire pressures, your oil levels. The car will even go as far as alerting the service department if there's an issue, and you can get it taken care of fairly quickly. And most Minis now have Bluetooth built in, so if you want to have your phone attached or you want to listen to your music on your phone, you can now link it up and do it that way. But if you still want to connect it via USB, there is a USB port down there, so you can still do that. As far as interior styling is concerned, the dash is finished in hazy gray trim panels, which is this kind of checked pattern. The headliner is actually a tan color. I prefer the anthracite, but this isn't bad. You also have the accent lighting here, so you can change the accent lighting at your leisure. The standard carbon black leatherette seats are very comfortable, very supportive, nice side bolsters, and it's just very, very nice. It's very well thought out and very well put together. And you even get heated seats here, so you can, if it's a cold day out, which it isn't today, oddly, you can push these and get the desired heating, and all this stuff is just easy to read, and that's a good thing. Now over here you have your button to activate your dynamic traction control. Oddly enough, this off button right here, this indicates with the little squigglies here for the swerving tires. That just means that your dynamic stability control is off. Your dynamic traction control is therefore activated when you push that button, as it will alert you here. Dynamic traction control. Dynamic traction control activated, maximum traction on loose surfaces, reduced driving stabilization, and driver assistance. Now, if you hold it down even longer, you can shut it off completely, although not many of you should do that, but you can if you really want to. Now, something that hasn't been addressed about this generation of Mini, but should be, is some of you with the second gen Mini know you have something up here called the secret compartment. Well, it's not there anymore, but it was available on the 2014 and 2015 and 2016 models, I believe, so you can retrofit it if you so choose. But with a fairly good sized glove box, you don't really need it, and with the storage in the center armrest, it almost makes up for that. Now, as far as cargo space is concerned, there's a fairly good sized trunk space in here, and if you happen to have the option for a load floor, there's even an adjustable load floor as an option. This one does not have it. That's not a terrible thing, and as you can see, nice big trunk area. However, if you want to carry large objects, you simply pull up on this tab, flip it forward, and now you have tons of cargo space in here. You can carry fairly good sized objects in here, so that's a great thing. Also, for those of you who happen to have the adjustable load floor, here's another little feature that you might not know about. The parcel shelf, this thing, actually can fit under the load floor when the load floor is in its high position, which would normally be right about here. So you can actually conceal the panel if you need to, but with it out, you can now have plenty of cargo space in here. Now, I don't know if this thing does what the previous generations used to do, which was you could take it and flip it over the, well, I guess you can. This is kind of a weird thing with Minis. You can actually take the parcel shelf if you're carrying large cargo and set it over the front seats. And the weird thing about it is actually it will wrap around the transmission tunnel or the exhaust tunnel, whatever you want to call it. Now, for those of you who have to push your rear seat belt out of the way when you have to flip the seat back up, you might notice these little tabs here. This is new for this generation of Mini, and it keeps the seat belt out of the way so you're not shutting the rear seats on it. So I can take this partial shelf back out here, and I can take this seat and flip it all the way up and not catch my seat belt there. And I can do the same thing on this side. So now I have the seat back up, I can carry 4 passengers. So great little things here and there that really make these cars even more special. Now, for those of you who might be wondering what this thing is, if you have that option, that is your rear fog light. However, US market no longer has this as an option as the take rate wasn't very good. But that's what that's for, and I think you might be able to retrofit it if you so chose to. And also, of course, we have our Union flag taillights here. In the US, we call them the Union Jack taillight or the British flag taillight, but it's truly called the Union flag taillight if you're anyone from England, and I don't want to piss off the Brits. So, Union flag taillight from now on. And another little neat feature here, or neat little touch, is the word Mini right there. Some of you don't know this, but you might have seen it in one of my videos, that the Union flag taillights are actually asymmetrical. So they fit the profile of the actual British flag, Union Jack, or Union flag, in that it's the right pattern. So that's kind of a cool little thing there. So all in all, for a $27,000 car, you're getting a lot of car in this. Now, you might think that you're not getting a lot of car for the money because it's a Cooper and the Cooper S's have more horsepower. Well, the Cooper S's can also have the same exact options. You're paying more for horsepower at that point. If you really wanted to get horsepower out of this car and you wanted to bump the horsepower up at maybe 30, you could easily get away with putting an aftermarket intercooler in this car, putting in a cold air intake, and upgrading the exhaust, and you'd probably get close to 160 horsepower. I'm not guaranteeing that, but it is possible. So you can trick out this car, bump up the horsepower, do whatever you want with it. You can also change the styling. So this has the chrome trim on it. You can get the black trim rings, you can get the black door handles, you can black out the belt line, change the scuttles, change the mirror caps, change the wheels. The list goes on. There's really no way you can't get the exact car you want, and you can even get the exact color you want. If you don't want British Racing Green, you can get Starlight Blue, you can get Solaris Orange, you can get Pepper White, you can get Chili Red. I mean, there is so much potential with this one little car that sky's the limit, really. I mean, it's a basic vehicle, but it does have a lot of stuff when you compare it to other cars in this segment. And I mean, you might think there's another $27,000 car out there from Hyundai or Kia or Ford or Dodge or whatever that has more equipment than a Cooper. Well, at that same price, this has the same equipment, only this is more fun to drive. And you're gonna get to see how fun it is to drive when I show that to you in the next 2 videos. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this little overview of the 2020 Mini Cooper. And if you did, leave a like below. Don't forget to comment, as I read your comments and I will respond to them all the time. So until next time, I just want to remind you all that life is too short to drive a boring car. So as always, drive a Mini. I'll catch you all later.